Thank you, Milissa, for doing this. And of all the people who doesn't think she's extraordinary, you are beyond extraordinary, and we're going to explore why today. So let's start with I never knew you were a dental assistant.
Oh my God, I've
And
been
then,
everything in the world.
and
Start with
then
that.
here you are now, the CEO of an organization that's the most unique, I think, organization on the planet. So what, first of all, what do you think are the traits that helped you get there from dental assistant to CEO? What are some of those traits?
Oh,
that
that's a great question. So I'm a risk taker, right? So it's always been about throwing the dice, So how did I end up being a dental assistant? I moved out of my mom's house before I graduated high school. I love my mom, and we ended up having a fab relationship. When I was a teenager, that wasn't the case. And so I was sleeping under the stairs at a friend of mine's house, and she was a dental assistant. So I'm like, okay, go to dental assisting school, get a job. I can still have fun. And that's, I went to my boss at one point. I was making $6.10 an hour, something ridiculous, right? Maybe a little bit more than that. But I wanted a raise, and she's like, no, sister, this is what you get. And so I was like, oh, I wanted to be a dental hygienist. And I thought, I don't want to be a human toothpick. That's disgusting. That's not for me. Now, it's a very honorable profession for others. But just, I didn't enjoy that part of it. And so I would say that that's really it. It was always kind of throughout. Every time I was doing something, I just threw the dice. And if an opportunity knocked, I answered the door and went, what the hell? Why not try it?
Wow. But you're wicked smart, right? So I mean,
I don't know.
Wicked.
To be a CEO,
I have wicked common
be
sense.
Smart, right? People always wonder, what does it take to be a CEO? So from your perspective, again, dental assistant to CEO, and you've held sales and sales leadership roles, and you really climbed the ladder. What are some of the things that you would suggest people look at if they want to climb that ladder in that direction?
Well, I say don't be afraid to climb it, right? You've got to really put yourself out there. If you want something, you got to go for it, right? And make it known. So you can't be really quiet about it. I think that's an important aspect of managing your career. Like, go back, there was times when I went back to school a whole bunch of times. Like I had a gap, I have all kinds of ridiculous little things. I went to PMI, got my project management when I needed that. I got a green belt when I needed that. I went back to college and did HR when I was doing HR. So every step of the way I looked for, if I felt personally I had gaps or learnings, I went after and sought expertise in those areas. So I think lifelong interest in learning, I think, is a really important aspect of it too. And I think in every moment you have to remember that the people that you work with, those are colleagues, those are networks, those are peers, those are people you really want to treat people nicely, right? They remember you, and make sure to help others out on the way. Support what your boss wants, what they're doing, get behind them. Don't always be trying to undermine people, but be part of the solution everywhere you go. I think that's a really healthy way to build your career.
Agreed.
Great advice. See, Luca, you should have listened to her years ago. Undermining people in the company was just not the way to go. Really.
Well, we all have our moments.
Yeah, I mean, I admire everybody who I know who's a CEO because I think it's a really difficult job. And I thought I wanted to be on that track to go up that ladder. And I went as far as senior VP. But when I looked at the CEO job, it's lonely. It's very lonely. The pressure is on. And I admire that for people to be able to do that. So, I think I don't think I have all of the traits, whatever those are, to be that person. I think what Milissa, somebody who the first thing is you're not afraid to try. So you want to do something, you're going to do it. But then you back it up with all right, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to get some degrees or some certifications so that I also look, like that's behind me. That's the stuff that's behind me. But really what's driving you is you. And you driving yourself. Yeah.
There's that. But I have to say, I've not been the person that was like, I want to be a CEO, right? That was never my aspiration, right? It was just that when this opportunity came knocking, it just aligned with where I was in my life and the next chapter and what I wanted to do. So yeah, I was just like, sure, why not? I was a little embarrassed, right? I still am. I'm like, people are like, what do you do at the company? And I'll say something, I lead it. I'm just in the job. And I really do feel that way. I don't, I'm not a big hierarchical person. While obviously I have the ultimate responsibility, it takes a village to make a great company.
Sure.
So it's really about your team members and getting the right team members at the right time to help you drive an organization.
So you had a very traumatic life situation happen to you. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I did. And I think that a lot of people have things happen in their life, right? That I don't think I'm unique. And yeah, I did. I had a really terrible accident at Christmas time.
Christmas? Oh, I didn't realize it was at Christmas time.
Yeah, I went to go see Andrea Bocelli up in San Francisco because I wanted, we were with my husband and a girlfriend.
So
it was Christmas. So we were celebrating, just getting together for a good Christmas. And we went to the concert, and it was, it was great. And it was a rainy night in San Francisco, and I had a terrible accident. I was at the concert, and then I woke up in the emergency room, kind of a situation. And the nurse I always laugh, and probably, I woke up and I heard him like, Jaguar's awake. And I'm like, uh-oh, who's Jaguar? And then all of a sudden I realized I'm Jaguar. And inside I kind of went like, what did I do last night that I'm now Jaguar?
Jaguar.
That was a hell of a drink.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought. I thought, whoa, was I in some club? I don't remember that. And then, I kind of figured out what's going on. It was really terrible. I got hit by a train or whatever, and I lived. And the emergency room nurse said to me, and I was like, whoa, she said, I love you. You hit the shit lottery last night. I laughed so hard. And that probably set the tone for my recovery because, you don't laugh it off, but you have to find that humor and yeah, it is shitty. Pardon, I don't know if I could swear, but
yes, you can. We do all the time.
But yeah, I had an accident. I'm sorry that the pandemic had to happen to the entire world, but pandemic was good for me because it gave me time to recover.
Wow. And so as a result of you, go ahead, Luke. I know you've got one.
You were hit by the BART or a train?
Muni, like in San Francisco. There's,
the Muni, I don't know
what those things are. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
It's kind of easy to I can understand. I lived in San Francisco for a while, so I can understand how you can get on the tracks pretty easily.
Yeah, or under them as a kid. Right. But I lived. I mean, the main thing was nobody really survives that, and I did, and I lost a few things, but I gained a few things too.
So let's talk about that, because there was a tremendous change, right? You had to learn how to function a little differently.
Oh yeah, I mean,
talk to us about what happened.
Yeah, I immediately lost almost all my fingers. I have a 3/4 of my finger left on my dominant right hand. So I did have to first I had to pray to save the finger, and I did, which is, probably never prayed so hard for anything in my whole life.
Yeah.
And then I had to make the decision. I'm very active. I enjoy skiing and whatever. I like swimming and snorkeling, and I'm playful. I like to get out and play with my grandkids and have fun. And so when this happened, my foot was really destroyed, and it was really a situation where I was never going to be. I could probably hobble around. That's what they said to me. You don't have to lose your foot, but you're just going to hobble. And I'm like, oh, no way. Like, I want to, this was December, it's ski season. I'm like, hey, I've got plans to go ski. And so I was really surrounded by a lot of love. My family and friends were super supportive and made the decision to amputate my leg. And so, as a recovery, I had to learn to walk, and walk again, climb stairs, figure out how you walk, which was really, I still think about it. I'm walking am I walking okay? I watch people, how your hips move. You probably don't see that, but I watch, and it's interesting. So yeah, I was relearning a lot of physical things, and then you kind of recover emotionally from something like that.
Yeah.
So I think how I forgave myself, that was part of it, to forgive yourself for having an accident and putting the people you loved so dearly through so much. And then I live in gratitude. You get up every day and it's like, oh yay, I'm alive. It's a great way to start the day. Like, I was thinking about it. You guys sent me the couple of things to think about. And it's like sort of like you wake up every day as a blessing, and every afternoon you get a new lesson. It's like it's a funny thing the way
I like that.
every day goes. Yeah.
It's amazing.
What a brave decision, though, for you to make to be like.
Oh, I wasn't going to hobble around, right?
Yeah, no hobbling for you.
Get like, oh, you can walk to the bathroom. I'm like, shoot me. That's no.
One of your goals, as I remember, was to go, what is it, paddleboarding? It was a paddleboard. Now, mind you, I had to look up what paddleboarding was because my people just don't do stuff like that. And when I saw what it was,
people.
When I saw what it was, and then I saw the pictures of you actually doing it, I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, that was great because it was balanced too. So you have to, you're on the board on the ocean and it's like, do. And yeah, I was.
Oh, you were doing it on the ocean.
Do that.
Yeah.
You did it on the ocean? That was the ocean?
Yeah, we were in Jamaica and we went to that little trip.
Yeah, nice. Okay. What you've had to learn how to navigate differently. So maintaining that, how you get through that psychologically and emotionally, your family, all of you having to go through that process is extraordinary. I started swimming this week, Milissa. You'll be impressed. I
heard. I was so proud.
I used to swim like a fish when I was a kid. My toe going into the pool. Right. This is day one. I have got such a black and blue toe. It's still pretty bad. Not only do I have, but I think I can just go and pick up where I left off when I was 10 and 13.
Oh yeah.
No.
You can't. This is not like riding a. I sank to the bottom.
You weren't buoyant?
No, I sank like a.
You're like a stone.
No, it's like I'm just like an oversized gnocchi. I went right to the bottom, right to the bottom. And then this aerobics class. I'm trying, Milissa. I'm trying so hard. I take this aerobics class.
So proud of you.
Yes. Thank you. I knew you were.
I am. I see you on Instagram. I saw that you were aerobics. Now, I saw you sitting in the chair and I kind of laughed. I thought, I wonder if you got out of the chair and moved or you just sat and watched and kind of went, okay.
It's true. That was the chair yoga that
chair yoga.
Yeah, is it chair yoga or yoga chair? I'm not sure.
Yeah, chair yoga. It's like chair dancing, when you can't get up.
I really just wanted to throw those blocks at people. I mean, they were just insane. So anyway,
I'm insanely proud of you.
Thank
you. Go, Lee. That's so
yeah.
Awesome.
I've always wanted to do water aerobics. I should look into it.
Yeah, you do that. Yeah. Good luck finding a bathing suit. Knock yourself out. We're going to have another session on bathing suits. So anyway, Melissa,
certainly can get a bathing suit.
Yes. So you that is extraordinary part of who you are. This recovery in you is unbelievable. But you've raised, I know what my mother went through raising me, but you've raised 3 girls.
Oh,
they're awesome.
And they are awesome. They're like
3 times.
Like you've got one that's an attorney, right?
Yeah, I do.
That's handy.
It is.
That's handy.
She does come in handy.
Yeah.
And if the other one's is the other one a mechanic? Because that would be super handy.
Yeah, right.
No, funny. So my eldest daughter is an attorney and she runs the mental health clinics in Santa Clara County.
Oh, wow.
So she's always she gives a lot back to our society, and she's just got a heart as big as the ocean. She's just amazing.
Wow.
That's my oldest daughter. Then my middle daughter is a recruiter at Pure Storage, and she's a really kick-ass recruiter.
Wow.
Super proud of her. And then my youngest daughter works for Magnet, and she runs programs, which is very similar to how I started in my career in staffing. In fact, she runs Keysight, which used to be HP, and my first foray into staffing, I was running the HP account. So it's really funny that,
Wow.
my youngest world kind of bisects, and I know her client pretty, I know him from a million years ago, but
Wow.
culturally they haven't changed a lot. So it's funny how when they all got out of college, because I was in staffing, my kids, except for the attorney, but my other two daughters, like, yeah, work here, work there, get them all. Got everybody, my nieces, their friends, everybody into staffing, and then they've all kind of gone their different ways.
Yeah, I mean, staffing is one of those things that I think nobody comes out of college or wherever and says,
no.
you know what I want to do is I want to be, no one does it. So when you fall into it though, and especially when you have somebody like you, who's like, sort of like, I'll take you in and show you what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is a whole thing. It's a whole thing unto itself. It's not I think recruiting is interesting because it's sales, but it's not exactly sales.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so there's
a lot of things, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a good start, right? It's a good place to
I think so.
Either you love it, but then you can look at multiple facets from that. Well, I like this. I like the project management piece of it. I like, that, or I like the recruiting, or I like, just this or that piece of it. And I think it's a really good start for embarking on a career.
I do too. I think people who have that experience, and I also think, my personal opinion is if you're going into staffing, I think everyone should work a recruiter desk first.
The people,
absolutely.
Right?
You got to do that
public.
First. And then you go to. But it's like customer service.
Exactly.
Absolutely overcoming objections to that sales acumen and idea, and then the project management stuff is huge, right? Just keeping track of all of it. I think it's a really great way to hone a lot of different skills.
So for those of you listening, if you wanted to learn more about the staffing industry, you can contact Milissa or Luca at any time.
We're happy to talk about it. Ad nauseum.
Getting back to Milissa, you've maintained, you've gone through raising 3 girls. Who are now very strong, independent, self-sufficient women. Very smart and successful. So when you look at that, what is the one thing that you really to instill in these women as you were raising them?
Independence, right? That they had to stand on their own 2 feet. So that was probably the number one. I was not a stay-at-home, obviously, mom person, and not that. I think that's really honorable, but I knew that wasn't me. And for a variety of reasons. One, I'm just curious and I like learning, and also, taking care of my family has been important to me. So I knew that I wanted to not only take care of my family, but I always wanted to take care of myself. I was never, and again, not that there's anything, if you can, that's great, but I've never been the person that's like, oh, honey, you can stay home. It's like, oh God, no, thanks. I'm good. And so I wanted my daughters to, in this world, you have to be able to take care of yourself. That's really important. And so I really wanted to instill that into my daughters. And then a sense of community. We did, work within our community always at the time through a church. And I always thought that was important too, to do your work, but also give back to your community.
Yeah.
You hear her, Luca? Are you giving back to your community?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, you are
through Vox. I do a little bit, but I always feel like I could be giving more. I could be.
The only thing
through this, right? This is part of your mission here, I would think.
That's true.
Yeah.
Look, thank you.
See, that was our next question. So as we wrap up.
I'm so relieved because when we get to the pearly gates, I want to make sure
exactly
we get through.
Got that list. Oh yeah, it's right here.
Melissa, how do you help people find the extraordinary in what they might think is an ordinary life?
Every day is a gift. That's the first place you start with. Whatever you're doing in a day, you look for those moments, and I think it's throughout the day. For me, there's all kinds of stuff rolling down at you, right? And if I can't find it through my work, I go out my garden and I look at my roses and like, oh, look at you. Thank you, beautiful. You're giving me another one. And so my advice to my kids is always like, don't sweat the small stuff, right? It's always got stuff. And don't borrow trouble from tomorrow. Don't worry about there's so much, right? It's always like, I'm worried about, and it's like really putting energy towards worry is really just, it's almost like poisoning yourself.
I wish I had learned that earlier in my life. I try to instill that to people, but it took me, almost 55 years to get to the place where I finally realized that I love this saying, don't borrow trouble from tomorrow.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. Because what are you going to do? Like worrying about what does that do? Nothing. It actually does an opposite of what you want. It makes you so anxious you can't even deal with what's going on today.
You can't. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's just breathing. And when you have a moment, I also think you have to be really kind to yourself. Right? You can't be, I'll speak for me. I'm not perfect. Maybe you guys are. But,
No.
We always have imperfect moments. And I think whatever those are, you have to forgive yourself. And of course, if it's something where you feel like you have hurt someone, I think it's an ability to tell them, look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. I think that's a really important place to be, but I think give yourself grace.
And that's where you find the extraordinary. That alone of itself helps you be extraordinary. If you cannot put yourself in the future or, fester too much on the past, that's
right.
The way to exist.
Right. I mean, I tell my girls, look at the rear view mirror is this big, right? It's worth a glance. It is. It's worth looking to see, and you want to learn from, obviously you need to learn from your past, but don't live there.
Yeah. Boy, that's good.
That is good. I like all of these analogies. The rear view mirror is this big. These are some good ones.
Right? The windscreen's this big. Like,
look for it. But the rear view mirror is really that big. Yeah.
That horizon. So
or maybe it's the side view mirror where it says things are always larger. Right?
Exactly.
Don't look through that. That's false.
Exactly. That's interesting, Luca.
They really are. Yeah.
Right? The good way to look at it, like, oh.
Yeah.
That's great. Milissa, thank you so much.